Hi again. This is Erin Dragonsong with wiccaspirituality.com, and we're continuing with the What's New 2022 question. One thing that's come up that's really exciting is in terms of what you are able to create now that you haven't been able to create before. So you may have had a lot of years of practice of affirmations, intentions, power of attention, law of attraction, all of that kind of stuff and more. And you might also have found that it wasn't working really well for you. You get so far and then it just kind of falls through, or it never really takes off, or you do it for years and years and years before you see a result. Raise your hand if this sounds familiar at all. So what's really exciting about what's happening right now is with the increase of light energy, divine energy on the planet, what that means is all of these tools, these inner technologies that I've talked about that have been sort of hit and miss or haltingly successful or whatever over the past, however many years you've been trying this, they're getting better. They're getting easier. And you're going to see this, I think, even in 2022, step up a lot in terms of how you can make what you are trying to make happen. And there's a big important shift that's part of that. I mean, part of it is the energy frequency has really changed, and we're becoming much more a part of the co-creational force of the planet, which is really exciting when you think about what this planet could be, what we could create, which I'll talk about another time. And one of the things that's happening is the direction of change is changing, okay? It used to be on this planet, in the material form, in the ego form, you might even call it the yang form. It was a much more yang energy that we were driving to creation. We were driving to achieve. We were driving to create. We had to make things happen. We felt like that, right? We had to pave the path ourselves. We had to beat the bushes out of the way ourselves. We had to make it happen. And implied in that is we had to make it happen with our own little hands and feet and, physical tools, physical body. But what's really coming to the fore as we shift more and more into the era of the goddess, the rebirth of the goddess, or heart consciousness, or divinity on earth, or however you want to express that, is that old egoic forcing and striving and struggling and pushing, that is getting more and more counterproductive. So you might have found this in the last year or so, especially, that when you're trying to make something happen, it's just not working. And you're doing all the same things maybe, and you're doing them probably even better than you did. And you're pushing even harder than you ever pushed. And yet it's like you're falling down. It's like it's just not working. It's kind of like, trying to push a concrete block with your body, and it's not working. But what's happening is that when you realize that concrete block is only energy, I'll explain this in a second, but when you realize that it's not something you have to push against, but something that you can get in front of and call, then the concreteness just goes away. The heaviness, the hardness, the struggle just goes away. It's a way of magnetizing what you want into your life, into the world, into yourself, right? This is a big, big shift, and it's a really hard one for the ego to make. That's why, there are practices and tools, and, I teach this sort of thing because the way we've been taught so far is how to do it the old way. It's not working. If there's one thing we need to know, the old way is not going to work anymore, and it's only going to get less and less effective as we go by. At this point, week by week, it's getting less effective. So it's time to drop all the stuff that you've learned how to make things happen. It's time to drop all the stuff about how you need to strive and how life is hard. And I'm not just talking to you. I mean, I've got this stuff too. I was raised in this culture, but we need to move forward into a different way of creation, a creation that calls us forward, that we set our intention into the future. It pulls us into alignment with it. And we can intentionally activate that alignment. But what we can't do is get behind it and push. So if you keep that in mind and you use that method, and I can help you with that if you want, just reach out to me. If you use that method, then what you're going to see is that all of the tools that you've been struggling with, that you know should work, you know, the higher order technologies that you've been trying to work and have been building up momentum for in the world. It's not a waste. You've been building momentum for yourself and for the world. It's been very important. Now you're going to start to see the results of that. Now you're going to start to be able to harvest some of that hard work in terms of real beneficial outcomes in your life. Things are going to change. You're going to be able to change them. You're going to be able to change you so much easier. You're probably finding this already. I mean, I'm really seeing this with my students. All of a sudden, like quantum leaps in terms of what's going on for them, what they're able to do. I was just talking to one group today, and one woman was telling me about the fairies that are suddenly showing up in her life in real physical form. She got a photograph of one. So we're all experiencing these quantum leaps in our magical spiritual potentials, and that is only going to increase this year. So you know what? Get out your toboggan, or get out your magic carpet, or whatever you want to ride on. Put it on that wave and ride it, and it's going to carry you to places that used to be thought of as complete fantasy. So that's all that I'm going to see in this video. I hope you'll join me for the next one. I'm not sure yet what the topic is, but these are just getting better as they go along, I think. And feel free to comment below. Please let me know what you think of the topics, of the videos, of my baseball cap collection. And also think about joining some kind of community. You can get my emails free for the Elevation email list. And you can also join the Coven. You can also support me on Patreon. It's important to give back, as you know, as probably as a Wiccan, or just as a spiritual person. You know that the energy exchange is very important. So support the work so that I can do more of it for you and more people like you. Thank you. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Where is that off button again?